Okay, I heard the cephalopods have brains that are decentralized into their limbs. So, as I understand it, I'm not a cephalopod neurology expert, but my understanding, they do have a lot of, like a huge fraction of their nervous system is in their limbs, and the limbs have a lot of autonomy, but they still do have a brain of sorts. It's like all these fused ganglia, but it's really weird. They're basically organized around the esophagus. So basically as it's eating stuff, it goes through the middle of its brain. So that kind of puts a limit on, how, first of all, what it can eat, how big things it can eat. It has to really rip things to pieces. And second, the brain is actually pretty sophisticated. They can do, like cephalopods have the most complex behaviors, like it compares favorably with the vertebrates, but it's organized completely structurally differently. But as far as the limbs go, the limbs are actually, if you cut off a cephalopod limb, they can keep going for a while. They have a lot of autonomy to them. So, yeah. All right, anything else? Yes?
You mentioned the Humboldt squid beating up divers, and I'm just wondering, are they normally aggressive?
Well, okay, so here's what I've heard from Humboldt squid. I mean, a lot of their behavior is because of people luring them to the surface, because they're people. First of all, they fish for them, and second, they're drawn to the surface by human activity. If they're putting out food for other fish, if they snag a fish or a squid, they'll come after that, and so they often congregate in bigger numbers than they would otherwise. And I mean, I think they're like any other predator. They're often curious. They'll often come and probe divers, and then sometimes they'll there are a lot of divers who've recounted just having them slam into them. They said it felt like a baseball bat hitting them, and then maybe 4 or 5 will hit them, and even some divers recounted them taking a watch or something like that, which again sounds like a mugging, but it's but then they disperse again. So I've heard anecdotes of people possibly being killed by them, but there's no definite cases of it, and so I think if it happens, it's pretty rare. All right, any other questions? Oh yeah, I see one back there.
So I was watching a documentary, and I now know how giant octopuses burst mega sharks, but octopi, how they match up, they can take airplanes out of the sky. How does a giant squid compare to a mega shark?
That's a good question. I did not mention that one. That was, if you missed that classic of cinematography, there was a movie called Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. And it should not be missed. But I think probably giant squids would hold up pretty well, but I think, being able to take out the Golden Gate Bridge and that sort of thing is probably beyond the ability of most giant squids.